game after game, you're just thinking of games, looking at goal scorers, looking at who's leading, like just being obsessed with football.
Well, Raheem, thank you very much for coming on, man. I know you're a busy man. 4 titles you're going for this season. Obviously, we're going to talk about football, but you're one of the leading names when it comes to footballers having their say on such issues as race equality through their social media platforms. Do you feel, as a footballer, the size that you are, huge player, superstar, do you have a responsibility to talk out on such issues?
Yeah, I do feel a lot of the times as football players, and not just football players, people in the public eye, you do tend to shy away from, causing controversy or, things that can, get people, on your wrong side. You tend to shy away from that. You don't really want to get involved in it, but then, there's times that you have to, step up to the plate and say, no, this is playing wrong. And I feel, people using their platforms for that, it's a good cause and a good thing to do.
Have you found that easier to deal with as you got older and then you've been exposed to more things in the public eye?
Yeah, I feel like before, once upon a time, it was like you don't know what the reaction is, and then when you get to a certain point in your life, it's like you then look at your son, your daughter, and you understand these little values, and you have to take responsibility sometimes and say what's right.
Oh, good, man. Well, listen, let's get back to football as well. And you know what? When I'm sitting here chatting to you, I'm looking back on the years you played. It seems like you've been around forever, man. But you're 26 years old, and you're coming into your prime years now. How do you think your game has developed? And I'm not just talking about goals, because I looked it up. The last 3 years, you've got 23, 25, and last season, 31 goals. What other things have developed massively in your game in the last few years?
I'd say the thing I've developed really well massively is my personal life. I think, like with anything, if you're not 100% in something, you don't get the results. So I feel like that was a big stepping stone for me, is getting that right. Being a complete pro, home, eating, recovery, game after game, you're just thinking of games, looking at goal scorers, looking at who's leading, looking at what you need, like just being obsessed with football. And I feel that that's been a massive bonus for me.
Is that something you've really focused on the last few years, or have you always been obsessed as a young player, young kid when you was at QPR Liverpool?
Nah, like I was never obsessed with scoring goals when I was younger. I was always obsessed with can I do a nice step over and send him this way, or can I
skills?
Yeah, skills, like do a nice make, like have something to talk about with your friends or whatnot. And it's when I went into the Liverpool first team, and things started to get real now. People are now judging me. Obviously, youth team days, you're not really getting judged on goals and assists. You're just getting judged on your ability mainly. And of course, it's nice to chip in with goals and whatnot. But when I got into the first team, it was like listen, you need to, fans on the outside was getting on to me. Oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, I had to buckle up and say, all right, cool. I know I can do. I might not be the best goal scorer in the world, but I know I can get numbers, and I know I can win football matches.
So the goals I mentioned before, that you was breaking records the last couple of seasons, and this season you probably haven't hit as many goals as you would have got in the last couple of seasons. How does that affect you? Do you feel it's all about goals, or do you think actually I'm contributing in other areas more at times as well?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. This season for me personally has been a very weird one, but nevertheless, still enjoying my football and giving my all to the team. And yeah, don't get me wrong. My game is if I don't score, if I don't do something to help the team, I'm not happy coming off the field. Of course, I'm happy we've won, but at the same time, I think that's what helps me to get these goals is being that driven. And it's a perfect time in the season now. Yesterday I was itching to come on, didn't come on, but again, wait for your opportunity to make a mark.
So given your goals and performances and your impact actually, and let's moving on to England, do you feel now like you're an absolute important member of this England team now? Given there's a lot of people they're saying, he might go, he might not go. You're going. You're in that team. You're in that team starting 11. There's no doubts about that. How long has it taken you to get to feel like you're actually I am a real important member?
Doing stuff for your club, I feel, certain players that, over the last couple of years have been standout players for their clubs, and they they're on the majority of players within the team and within the squad, you kind of have a rough idea who the players are, that's got real value to the team. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm one of those, but I'm hopefully looking to end the season on a high with City now, and then turn my focus to England, because as I said, I definitely want to be a part of that group with a good bunch of quality players that are all in contention to start.
And you've won 6 major trophies at club level, and I'm sure you'll be adding to that this season. And looking at the change rooms with England, does that change room have that same feeling, that winning vibe going through it that you see all the time at City?
Yeah, I think when I first went into the England setup and to how we are now, I do think we do feel ourselves a bit. I think we do fancy ourselves in games, going to games, and I think we're really focused on winning. We're really focused on putting a good performance. We're really focused on trying to achieve to be the #1 team in the world. And I always say, when we go with the national team, don't be shy to say that. There's no issue with saying that. Don't obviously boast about it, but be confident. Tell people you want to win the Euros, you want to win the World Cups. And if the whole team ain't saying that, then I don't think there's a chance of doing that.
You've been on an incredible run, 27 wins now after last night in 28 games. And Pep said something quite intriguing after the game. He said against Dortmund that he felt that the players had the pressure of that run on them. Is the squad feeling that pressure now? Because it's exciting times for you guys.
Not necessarily feeling the pressure, because if you come into our change room, you wouldn't even notice that there was a game going on. How chill the guys are, but it's one of those that in the last couple of years we've been at this stage, and we know we should have won in the last couple of seasons at this stage. It's more say trying to just overcome that stage, and I feel like we'll be flying. But the man just tried to stress yesterday, just play our football, and I feel like if we just do that. Without really overthinking or doing too much, we'll win the second leg.
Do you guys talk about it? Because I know when I was playing in this position, we did talk about it, but we didn't get too excited. But it was conversational when we was in the training ground about these type of things, and you get a little bit excited, but you try and control it a little bit.
Yeah, it's like yesterday after the game as normal. For me personally, I feel like that was a game that should have been won 3-0, and then going away there, because we had the chances to finish that game off, and then now going away, it's definitely going to be a difficult one. And on a day-to-day basis, that game's done. We've forgot about that now. It's straight onto the Leeds game, and I think that's what's so good about this squad. It's literally as one game's done, you're on to the next and focusing on the next.
Good.
One.
You've got to stay focused, man. That's true. And one thing that's obviously great news for you guys, for anyone connected to your club, the news broke recently. Kevin De Bruyne has signed a new deal. You must be buzzing. How exciting to keep playing alongside him for the next few years.
Yeah, he told me last week. Obviously, he wasn't really allowed to say much until he asked me to keep it a secret. But Kev's been a massive influence on his club. We joined at the same time, and honestly, he's a top player, and City are lucky to have him, man.
Raheem, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate your time. Good luck at the weekend, and obviously with the trophies, the 4 of them. Fingers crossed you guys go out and do the business.
Thank you, man. Hopefully we can finish off on a high, man. Thank you for that, Rio.